YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is another Brick in the Mall strategy and tactics episode. What is it, 9? We'll go with 9. So in today's episode, I've gone through one extra day here, and we have reached our goal of researching our electronics supplier, and we've kicked over to cold chain. Now, I am actually going to let it finish cold chain. I know that clothing supplier is also a really, really freaking lucrative one. We'll get to them, but I want cold chain. We want to balance profitability and attractiveness. Electronics, profitability. Cold chain, attractiveness. The two work hand in hand. Now, having just gotten this, I've built us a couple of walls here in preparation, but this is still all, technically speaking, one store. So let's get our tables rearranged here a little bit. And actually what we want to do is we want to build a shelf over here. And we're going to need to get another table over there, which means we're going to have to get this. We're going to have to wait for our builders to come in at 9. So we'll get our stuff going. But actually, in the meantime, we might as well set products for here. We're going to go with cameras. I did say cameras, right? Nope, no. The cameras come first. Then game consoles. Then MP3 players, and front and center is going to be our friends, the laptops. So we'll get our supply guy going here to get those online so we can start gauntleting it up. We're not gauntleting at full strength at the moment, but we will be pretty darn soon, and it'll be a heck of a lot better than before. All right, we've got that, so we can get our last table here. And of course, this one will be our friends, the toys. And of course, we cannot forget the laptop computers. Beautiful, our gauntlet is online. But it's not quite firing on all cylinders yet. It will though, it will, I promise. Now, you might be saying, well, Pinstar, why did you put the toys up here? Why didn't you put the toys here and just make them walk the extra distance to go past the toys? Well, here's the thing that I've noticed. If you put something that makes them walk, see, even there with that guy, they clipped through. There can be things that can make people just clip right through, and the longer you force them to path in that direction, the more likely they are to just clip. Like, see here, we got a clipper. We don't like clippers, but we got a clipper. But to minimize well, I'm okay with them clipping on the way out, but we don't want them clipping on the way in, because then they won't walk past all these. So if you get too greedy, see, like, what are you? You're a former guard, so you wouldn't have bought anything anyway. It's mostly just the people going into this section right here. People going into these two sections will be more inclined to, well, behave normally. And this is odd, because this has normally worked before. I might try a double door here, see if that works out a little bit better for us. Anyway, so we'll implement the full extent of our rearrangement here once this day is passed. Also, I want to remember to tell my frickin' builder to come in at 2300, because I'm so used to them coming in at 2300 hours that I prefer if they did that. So yeah, our cash money is going through the roof here, as expected, but we are going to be doing things that will be making it even better. Geez, our laptops are gone already, but don't worry, we'll fix that in the near future. We're just going to let this day play itself out, and then we will begin the refinement. Yeah. Too many people clipping right through. Too many people clipping right the heck through. So we'll have to find a solution to that. I'm going to try a double door. It might work out a little bit better. All right, Rico Suave, keep the people happy, keep them going. You know, one other thing. Well, we'll see what we can do here. Okay. All right, Mr. Builder. Mr. Builder. My friend. We have some work to do. First off, let's remove that door, and let's just for the heck of it, for S's and giggles, we're going to put a door over here, and then we're going to put a double door here. Let them come in at either angle. Maybe they'll be less inclined to clip. Now then, as far as our organization, well, we've got some assignments to change here. Namely, you're no longer part of... Actually, this whole section up here is no longer part of Tier's Capitalist Haven. Tier's Capitalist Haven is now going to just be our Gauntlet store. We are going to be introducing brand new stores for our little subsections here. 1, 2, 3. And we've got enough cash and enough income to support them, yeah. So we've got some shuffling to do, because now we've sort of changed the ratios of everything. So let's so what we want to do is we want to plan out what our specializations are, and that's sort of take this by sort of whole cloth. Now let's take a look at our products here and what we can specialize in. So the first thing I want to specialize in is where is it? Fresh bread. So fresh bread is one of those categories that has that can go up to tier 3, and we get a whopping 17 more demand if we have a fresh bread store. So you want that. So that's going to require a whole bunch of new shelves over here. In fact, you know what I might do, just because we have the cash and it'll be easier? I'm going to tell my guys to just wipe out all of the shelves that we have. Well, these can stay. These are just going to be rearranged a bit. And actually, all right, so maybe I don't have to be so ham-handed about this, but I do want to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you build those two things there. I will get my... So we're going to get... Now, I'm going to actually make this store with 8 tables, so we're going to need 5 things of fresh bread in order for this to count, so to speak. In order for us to be a bread store. Now, the other thing is that there's a whole other lot of food items that aren't that don't need to be specifically tied into a tier 3. They're fine with tier 2, like say rice and pasta here. So what we want to do is for our non-bread items, we still want food shelves because they will get the tier 2 bonus because bread counts as food. So those items are going to be imperative to put into place. And we will build a double door. See if that does anything for us. Yeah, you get those in there. And we will make you fresh bread, fresh bread, fresh bread, fresh bread. And now our choices for our food items here are going to actually be a lot more important. The reason for that is that we are not going to have all of our food items on display until we can get them sorted as proper items on display within additional specialty stores. So we're going to want to pick our best food items here. The best ones, I think, are breakfast cereals. They have pretty high markup. Again, we're looking for markups here. Pet food has pretty good markups. And I believe cookies. Cookies have pretty good markup. But we want to stay away from like the canned goods and the sliced bread. We're saving those for last. Now over here in our in our shelves store, one of we have a couple of things going for us with shelves. We've got household items. We have 4 different household items. And now household items, interestingly enough, are household items. None of them have tier 3. In fact, cookware doesn't even have a tier 2. But I still want to put them in there. So yeah, none of them have tier 3s. But it's still good to have a houseware store because you need them in order to get the tier 2s for all of them. And they all sell pretty well. So we want to make this place a tier 2 houseware store, which means we've got our 3 housewares. And then we've got our 3 health and beauty items here, the diapers, the toilet paper, and the pads and tampons. So this store is actually perfectly where it needs to be. We don't need to make any other thing. We don't need an 8th shelf, though, because that'll disrupt the housewares thing. I mean, unless I just threw another shelf in there and just made it another redundant housewares, which I could do. Now over here, we've got mostly beverages, which, I mean, we don't have any other tier 3s. Actually, the only other tier 3s we have is, ironically, toys. But even then, we're not going to get a lot of demand out of that. So I'm not going to build a specialty toy store until we can get some more products in the media and toys category. So I think we're going to go with beverages here, which is what we're already kind of slated to do. Now here, we're just going to have a whole bunch of other sort of redundant stuff. We want, 5 beverages. We've got soda, bottled water, juices. And then, I mean, we could throw a few things in there, but, well, here. We want another thing of soda. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll do another thing of bottled water. That's 5. That's juices. So we can do now 3 things of not that. Now here, I think I'm going to... Well, yeah, we got car tools, which is fine, because car tools, we're not going to be able to combo that into tier 1 or tier 2 for a while. Tools. Yeah, we have to research the tools thing before we can get tier 2 with that. So I'm okay with that sitting by its lonesome with that category. And here, well, we could do more food, like snacks. Snacks are very heavily onto tier 1. Sauces and seasonings, not so much. What other what other items do we have that are potentially better for us? Like, we have our toys. We could throw a toy in there. We could make one of these a toy shelf and just take them out of the mix here as a temptation goal. That might actually not be too bad. Yeah, let's do that. We've graduated from toys. We don't need to, strictly speaking, tempt people with them. So let's build, remove, put the toys there. Actually, what we'll do is we'll put the toys here because they're more likely to... They're more likely to, if we are going to do temptation buys, we want people to get tempted by the toys over here before they buy something like one of the drinks, because toys are worth more than the drinks. And then we'll put back a food shelf up here. Heck, we could do a fridge. Put one of the no, actually no, that doesn't work out. We need a food shelf or a fridge. We can do a fridge. I'm being indecisive. I apologize. All right, so you're just going to be a redundant household item. Let's do some more, I don't know, bed sheets. You be one of the sodas. What are you right now? You are a soda. Okay, good. You get to be the snacks. And you get to be the toys. And we get to dismantle you. All right. Now then, let's get to configuring and balancing these stores, because one of the other major points that I want to make here is there's a lot of flexibility that you can do with just 2 cash registers. And actually, the reason I'm deleting this out is I want room for another cash register here, down here in this store. That's our other reasoning for that. That's why I shifted the toys over. So we will build another cash register. First off, I don't like building stores with just one checkout counter. I just don't like it. There's so much more flexibility you can get from a store, even a low volume store with 2 cash registers. And I'll show you how. And I kind of made these stores this way to contrast it a little bit better. Right then. So we are going to, and actually just to keep our builder busy, let's get more customer parking along here, and then we'll focus on our management here. Boy, our place is a mess. All right, so store number 1, which is going to be our bread store. Let's give it a let's see, Carbo Zone. The Carbo Zone. You have entered the Carbo Zone. Enjoy your bread. Now, the Carbo Zone is going to be a good example of a high traffic place, a high traffic site. We're going to need, our cashiers are going to be very busy here, is what I'm trying to say. So what we're going to do is I'm going to demonstrate the 4 cashier technique for a 2 register setup here to keep our staffing needs complete. Here we need to just pare down Tiers Capitalist Haven. So we only need 2 cashiers here. Where's Rico Suave? I want Rico Suave. No, we're not firing you, buddy. Don't you worry. Rico Suave, come on back. In fact, you can start right in the morning. Let's go back. We want to do these one at a time. And we can also use this opportunity to just purge the lesser ones. And actually, before we start doing that, let's consider if we have any good naturally occurring No, we don't. Do we have any good naturally occurring stock clerks? We do. We do have a couple of naturally occurring stock clerks. So you come on down. Now, the thing with the stock clerks here is because they are now sort of splintered into smaller stores, they don't need to work for 8 hours. We're going to reduce that to 4 hours. And I might even reduce it further depending on the turnover here. But basically, I want her to be at work long enough to restock all the shelves. That's it, once. And then the shelves will have to carry the store for the rest of the day. That is our goal, to sort of control. In fact, let's go for, well, let's see if she can do it in 4. If she's sitting around idle after 4, then we'll drop it to 3 tomorrow. Cashier, no cashier. Stock clerk. And you too, my friend, will actually assign storage. Opening hour 6. So this is store number 2. This is going to be an example of our 2 cashier sample here. So we're going to set you to 21, and I'll show you why in a moment. So we got that as a stock clerk. Let's go back to Carbo Zone. Cashier? No cashier. We want a really good cashier here. We want really good cashiers here. Actually, despite the sociability, that skill might be worth it. So for a 4 cashier setup, you start the first person at 6. The second person starts at 7. So just right afterwards. The third cashier, let me just go dump a stock clerk on this place. The third cashier, can we get a good thank you? The third cashier is going to start at the normal 1400 hour to cover second shift here. But the fourth cashier, God dang it. All right, you know what? Well, one other thing is we actually want a second stock clerk down here because this place gets a lot of traffic. So we actually want a second stock clerk for Tiers Capitalist Haven. So let's get a stock clerk to get them out of the freaking mix. And you get to start there. As I was saying, oh, actually, let's just trim some people. There. You go there. Carbo Zone, pick up a cashier. Boom. And now you start at 1500. So everyone starts an hour apart from each other, morning and evening shift. That means there's always going to be at least one person on the cashier, except for the first hour of the morning and the last hour at night. So that helps for easy transitions and keeps the registers pretty much permanently manned throughout the mainstay of the day. So that's how you can do a 4 cashier setup efficiently without night hours. Obviously, night hours will confound things, and we'll just cover that in a future episode. That's how you can get two registers manned by 4 cashiers to have some pretty much rock solid uptime. Right then, store number 4, which is going to be our housewares stuff. Yeah. Let's see. I wish I had thought of some witty names before I started this episode. Gosh darn it. There we go. Much better. That sounds like a houseware store to me. Yeah. Right then. Let's go trim some more people off of Tiers Capitalist Haven. We just need to get her down. We just need to trim one more. Yeah, why don't we fire you? And we will park you into the witty name needed. Did I not? Alright, yeah, I changed that. You go here, hire cashier. Come on down. We've got you. Now, for the second, for the store where you see this houseware store isn't going to get a lot of turnover. There's not a lot of natural demand in the houseware store. I mean, there's enough to warrant its existence, but it's not going to see the same volume as our fresh bread store. So we need fewer cashiers. In fact, we only need 2. So what we're going to do is we're just going to hire another cashier. I guess you'll have to do Mr. Grumpy Butt. And we're going to have you come in at 1300. So for 1 hour, there will be 2 cashiers right at 1300 before the other one clocks out for the day and he takes over full time. This will ensure that when the other one clocks out, if there's any customers lined up for them, they won't abandon their sales. They'll just go to the other to the cash register. So that helps cut down on some lost sales. Right then, for our final store, I'll call you Aquaria, one of my favorite early indie games of years gone by. And since it deals mostly with liquids, why not? So Aquaria is going to be right in the middle here. This is going to be a 3 cashier setup. So what we have here is well, some lousy cashiers, but we're going to have to run with it. 1 comes in at 6. Ew. 1 comes in at 14. Finally. And then 1 comes in right stab in the middle, 10. So there's always going to be a cashier on board when people flip over here. But we still have 3 going full force. And that allows us to keep the normal hours. We're going to do the exact same thing with Tiers Capitalist Haven here. You're going to come in at 6. You come in at 10. You come in at 14. Beautiful. And that's why I wanted the second register there. All right. Let's finally unpause. I realize this episode has been mostly paused. And yeah, we'll let our builder come and do their thing. Our janitor has their work cut out for them. Certainly speaking. And our various stock clerks are going to be quite busy as well. There you go. You get in there. Oh yeah, I'm observing to see if she can finish her stuff in the 4 hours. Yep. She doesn't need to be in for 4 hours. She doesn't need to be in for 2 hours. What am I missing in this store? Did I not assign you a storage? Derp. Derp, I say. Derp. Alright, so our stock clerks are going to be on shorter shifts starting tomorrow. I don't want to mess with them now because I want to make sure they get all their stuff in place. But yeah, all that hanging around on their smartphones, not so good. Alright, looking at our door designs here. We're still having shortcutters here. But we're still good for the moment. And as you can see, we're getting a lot more volume. Actually, we're getting a lot more volume in the drinks store than I'd think. But we're getting a lot less volume here in the middle. So we only need that many housewares peoples. In fact, I might even cut down the number of cashiers for our impulse buy store, because even with all the impulse buys, we don't get a ton of volume here. Are we missing anything? Queue's full. So now, yeah. So as people go through here, the shelves will start to empty, but that's fine. They'll all get replenished in the morning. Now, this is the reason why we want to keep stock clerks going for Tiers Retail Haven here, is so that we can get more people on board here to pick up these. Not too shabby, not too shabby. All right, so I think with our builder coming back to, well, they're going to finish all that. But we've got some expanding to do as our research into cold chain comes nigh. And you can see the real reason why I wanted cold chain next. So, if you like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback is always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya. Boy, it's a good thing labor laws don't prevent me from just hiring people for 2 hours a day. I mean, there's part-timer. We don't even have to pay them health care.